should be working. If not, I will scream at my computer and go, "Why? Why did you not work?"
Exactly. It's very nice to be here, Cotton, at the 45th Dodgeball Championship of the world. I am your host. I don't even know who I am anymore. My wife.
Oh, Christ.
This is what Crash Out's called, right? Wait. That didn't make any sense.
Alright, let's get started. Hello and welcome to Music Geekery. Oh, wait, no, that's the main channel name. God.
Starlight. So yes, thank you for inviting me to once more with Music Geekery. It's nice to see you.
So this time around,
here I am on the surface of the light, as you can see behind me. I with no light in front of me, so I'm. Oh wait, haha! Maybe I can convince the white pellets. Say, hey, there we go, haha! I have fixed the white pellets. I just have to hold my hands like this for the rest of the episode. Don't mind me. I am reflecting the light, so everything's better now. This is so stupid. And it's gone.
Right, shall we try to start again?
No, just keep it. Just keep going. It's fine. It's the episode where everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and we loved it.
So apparently we're once more with Feeling or Music Geekery or something or other.
Two idiots get messed up and don't know what they're talking about for 30 to 75 minutes.
And the hell of it is, neither of us have been drinking, so this is all just
not vodka. I swear. It's Walmart brand water. You know, they stamp Walmart on every single water molecule, so it's H2OO.
Isn't that?
And there's no response to that.
No, H2O2 is actually a chemical formula in itself, and I'm trying to remember what it is.
Well, but this isn't H2O2. This is H2OO, as in like WO. Did I say double O? I meant to say WO.
H2.
I'm H2 Walmart O. You know, like dihydrogen monoxide with Walmart on there. Hydrogen peroxide.
Right.
A quick Google search is all you need, Edmund. Just all you need. The magic of Google. Google. I like how as I move my hands, my white balance fixes itself. I need to be very animated and I'll be magically visible to everybody. The more I want to make my point, the more I have to become animated. Oh, God. This could be such a disaster.
Right.
So we're here to talk about Lady Gaga's new perfume and food, right? That's what we're here for?
You're just leaning into the Psychostickisms, aren't you?
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, crap. I'm now actually wearing one. This is the first time on your show I've not worn Psychostick shirts. I'm just wearing a boring t-shirt. What am I doing with my life? Hang on. Haha. Haha. I see. I have my merch on me. I'm just not wearing it because I suck. But there you go. I have my Psychostick shirt. I officially wait. White balance fixed. I just need to do this for the rest of the episode. Okay. But yeah, I normally would be wearing my Psychostick merch. I just forgot to put it on, and I don't feel like delaying this recording any further. So,
especially as you're on a time limit.
Sadly, yes, I have less than eternity to record this. Oh, look at Alfred Beans, all being all super cute right there. She also likes Psychostick, as you can tell by her dance. Interpretive dance.
Anyway.
Yes, please, for the love of God, stop me.
So yes, we're here to review Psychostick's Christmas album, The Flesh-Eating Rollerskate Rides Again, which is in fact a reference to their previous EP that was just holiday themed in general, which was what was it called again?
The Flesh-Eating Rollerskate Holiday Joyride.
There we go.
Because everybody always thinks of a flesh-eating roller skate when they want to go on a joyride, now don't they? Which, man, that would have definitely changed my childhood a lot. Yeah. Why is also a roller skate? Why is it not an ice skate? If it's going to be for the holidays, shouldn't it be an ice skate, not a roller skate?
You're trying to apply logic to Psychostick.
Hey, I'm allowed, as a fellow psychopath, I'm allowed to ask questions.
But yeah. This was a bit of a tricky one just to make notes on because of the inherent nature. For those who are unfamiliar, Psychostick are a comedy metalcore act who, a lot of their songs are food themed or violence
Hating
themed.
to go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
they are perpetually 15 years to 20 years old.
Yeah.
That's basically who they are. They are never going to truly grow up as a band, even though individually they've all accomplished a lot of really impressive things. As a band, they are perpetually young.
Yeah.
Which, I guess that's what everyone aspires to, more or less. I don't want to grow up. I want to scream about my penis. That kind of song.
Oh, Christ.
Oh God! Did I just accidentally give them an idea for a song? Please don't ruin the Toys R Us theme song.
I mean, Toys R Us are dead.
Yeah, but we don't need to crap. What the hell was that giraffe's name? Was it Perry or something? We don't need to piss all over his corpse. Let it rot in perpetuity, anyways.
I wouldn't like to hazard a guess. I didn't know that a giraffe had a name.
Yeah, he had a name, and at this point, even though I've already done a Google search once for this episode, I'm going to stick to one Google search per episode, or more if I feel like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a name, and it was like there was a whole spiel about when they retired him and/or the company and all that crap. So yeah, good times, happy company, loads of fun. So Psychostick as a group.
Yeah.
Of course, they got started back in 1837, back in Minnesota.
How long?
Abraham Lincoln and George Washington got together, while they were preparing for that one anime that got released, a year or two ago, where they had to do battle with John Wilkes Booth to try to protect the world and all that. They also kind of helped form, Psychostick as a band. And, on their way to the Garden of Eden, which we all know is in Georgia, because the Mormons are right, they decided to put together and make first one Christmas album, and now this second Christmas album, which, as we all know, of course, is about Monica Lewinsky and her power to be able to take on the sun and bring forth the fifth apocalypse.
Should we just send this all into Psychostick and say, here's an idea for an album?
I don't know if they would want to touch half of what I just said, to be honest. I think even they have limits.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that kind of thing would be the thing you'd hear on talk radio. Let me rephrase that, on a bad podcast, like Distractable and other podcasts out there that other people put out that are far more popular than we are.
In our defense, we barely ever bring out anything, so it's difficult to get
I think the last time you and I sat down was, 3-4 years ago? It's been a while. But hey, we're important too with our non-functioning... Could the sun go away? It's not my fault that this is the time I have available to me. I demand that the sun go away. It's very unfair. I look like I'm sitting in a total darkness with a blinding death light to my right or left, whatever color, whatever direction that is. Everything's reversed. Everything's up. My cat is back there behind the thing. You can't even see her right now. Everything is wrong in this world. So anyway, back to the album. Track 1, of course, being "Doomed to the World," is a very happy song talking about the joy and wonderful things that are eggnog.
Well, I did think I had to think about it, and because of the nature of what Psychostick's albums are like, I figured it'd be easiest to start off with just the skits and just 30-second songs,
As I
snippets.
said, Doomed to the World, being the very first track,
Yeah.
happens to be about the joys of eggnog and how mind-splittingly painful it is to let it pour through your ear hole.
It does kind of sound like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking to myself when I first heard it, it was like, am I listening to the right album? Like, what the hell is this? Like, I'm not complaining because once again, it's Psychostick, so it's kind of on brand for them to do something weird right out the gate, and
Hmm.
having it just be this really loud like trumpet, like attempted marching band. I'm gonna guess in their warehouse just for
Yeah.
fun kind of thing. Because for those of you who don't know, Psychostick back during it was during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
That they purchased like that warehouse or like large building, and they turned it into a giant sound studio where they could do a bunch of different live streams and basically throw concerts and stuff during the pandemic, and also use it as a recording studio. Basically, a very multi-purpose building. I don't know who came up with the idea of trying to put together a Psychostick marching band, but whoever it was, they deserve a beer. Because I don't know about a pay raise or anything, but a beer would be good because beer is good.
And stuff.
See? I could do it! Damn it! I could bring things together! Like this song brings together pain in your ear holes! Anyway.
um, that and one of the later tracks do actually make me wonder something about one of their influences.
Okay.
So that and their rendition in the Iraq War sense of the word, um,
Hey.
of Silent Night, make me wonder if they're potentially fans of the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band.
That is a name.
So the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band, even if you're not familiar with them, you will be familiar with the work of one of their members, Neil Innes, because he was responsible for Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. Quick correction here. Neil Innes was responsible for the whistling on Always Look on the Bright Side of Life.
Uh, okay. Some Monty Python connections.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
And they did this.
I feel like those two things are pretty far apart, though.
Well,
When
bear
we're
with.
talking about this track versus that song.
Well,
Wow.
bear with me.
I
So
was gonna say that's a logic leap for me.
now I can bring it all together. So they did a rather cacophonous, parodic cover of The Sound of Music,
Oh Lord.
specifically the song The Sound of Music. And it's sort of like going that kind of cover of it. So it's because of that that it makes me wonder.
That is wild.
I'll send you the track later so you can understand where I'm coming from. But it does make me
Yeah.
wonder, and when I'm editing things together, I'll include an excerpt so people can hear side by side.
Silent night! Silent night! All is gone!
Yeah, because the way I was thinking with that one, it was similar to tracks. What the hell's the name of that song? Was it Mr. Highway? Yeah, Mr. Highway's thinking about the end. It kind of blew up on TikTok and those types of like short media sites as like because there's like a part of the song where it gets kind of like do do do, and it's like got this like really almost like slow part where they're like just waiting until suddenly it just like starts to build up and then just goes completely crazy for about a good like 20-30 seconds where he's like screaming and like all like basically all shit breaks loose. um it kind of reminded me a bit of just like that breakdown part and then just like the explosion
Mm.
to a point almost. So it's kind of that whole thing to me, but still like it's still fun. Like it's for a version of Silent Night. I could definitely see some twisted parent playing that version of Silent Night when the carolers come up to their house and they're just like, I don't want to hear your version. Rah, let's crank this out to 11 and let them hear the good one. At which point people are start doing like they do the rosary, trying to like run away as like the fecal matter pours out of them. That kind of fun time. I grew up in a very, very quiet rural town in the middle of nowhere. Why not? Let's torture people when they come to my door. They'll never do it again.
And one of the other skits we'll hold off on because that leads into a full song, so it feels a bit redundant. So, Holiday Hate is what they open with. And, well, I feel like before we get into the main body of things, a lot of the tracks on this are re-recordings, remasters, all that sort of thing. But there are a few original ones. But so, Holiday Hate, which is one of the remasters, that is a spleen venting song, basically.
Christmas music overplayed. Every minute of every day. Find a present for your mother. Then your dad, and then your brother.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Like, I don't know. This is not one of the ones I was super thrilled about, and it's not that the music is bad. Like as you've pointed out, a lot of this stuff is remasters of old works, re-recorded versions of old works, that kind of good stuff. Nothing negative to say about them. It's just, it's just because it's nothing new. I don't want to go like, oh, it's the greatest song ever, because it's not. It's one of those things where, like, if I put this album on, I'd listen to it once or twice, and then put it back on the shelf.
Yeah.
The exception, as I mentioned to you before we started recording this, when you asked me about this the other day, I used to drive for Uber and Lyft. And during the Christmas season, I felt obligated to play Christmas music. But then after a while, I got really frustrated and bored of having to listen to Mariah Carey for the 850,000th time, which I had to listen to anyways for years doing work for like Walmart and stuff. So I started looking for alternate things, and I found a great album, a Christmas album at one point by Alice Cooper. There was another one by Twisted Sister. So I started putting those in the playlist instead, and it made for a far more enjoyable time. If this album had come out, I would totally have played this album for some of my passengers. And like the song would have been perfect for it, because there would have been some people who would have enjoyed this song. It would have been some great moments, some great giggles. People, I don't think they'd sing along because they wouldn't know the words, but at least they'd be like, did he really just say that? I totally understand that. I get that. I understand the hate and anger and things like that, right? So I could see that. Other people would be very much in a, I don't know, this is kind of not my style kind of thing, right? So it would kind of go back and forth in that regard. I don't know. Like, I feel like we could probably, for the most part, skip a lot of the remix ones or the remaster ones, just because they're serviceable. They're good enough that if you hear it, you'll probably nod along, especially the ones that are like parodies. Those ones especially, you'll probably nod along, you'll smile, you'll giggle. The stuff that you've never heard before because maybe you missed a previous album, they're good. It's not. There's nothing negative to say really, because it's if you like Psychostick, you're gonna like that kind of stuff. You'll have some good moments to giggle. You'll have some parts where you might quote it at some point because you get angry at something and or someone. Like I still to this day, I still keep, and every time I talk about the dentist, I can't help but think of the Throne of Pain. Sitting at the throne of pain, like that kind of moment. Right? And it's the same thing here, right? If it's something you haven't heard before because it came out In the case of the original album, 18 years ago,
There are
fair
some
enough.
people who would be
Yeah,
old enough
you
to.
may have just yeah, and I get that. I mean, I'm in my 40s, so this is not anything necessarily new to me.
Mm.
But that said, there are some songs on here that do stand out because they are new. Because there's like what, two new songs, which once again not great, but at the same time, the two new songs are fun.
And they're very
Like
intriguing for the choices of what they are.
yeah, because I had seen that they did a music video for eight, right?
I'm not sure.
I swear, or maybe I just misread the email wrong. Because at one point, 'cause of course I'm part of the email,
Yeah,
email tree
same.
for all this stuff. I remember seeing something about eat. I can never remember. I hate the
Yeah,
the special character stuff. For like even now, I still don't know how to pronounce that, even though it should be pretty easy. But my brain just is like, ah. Anyways,
I think it will
um,
be 8.
so we'll segue into that song. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Holiday Hate is just a good way of starting things off, and then
Endless calories between the cookies and the cake. Every Christmas season end up gaining all the weight.
we go to 8, and yeah, well, I said this to you when we were talking about it, on Discord. I just the main note that I have about this song is I did not have a Christmas themed Tool parody on my bingo card for this year, but yet here we are.
Yeah, I feel like I need to kind of talk about where I learned about Tool to kind of talk about this song.
Hmm.
So I moved to Seattle from Idaho, a small town in Idaho. It was 8,000 people. So, like our school was huge. Like my high school had 1,200 people in it for a town of 8,000. Should tell you that population was starting to blow up in that town.
Hmm.
So in Idaho, it was the 90s, late 90s when I was in high school. But in Idaho, that meant it was in the 50s. All of our music was 50s and 60s. So if I turned on the station, it was either 50s and 60s country with some newer country, like we're talking like some 70s, because that was pushing the envelope. That was offensive music. But beyond that, my only other option was a classic oldies, like kind of rock station. So we're talking like Beatles was too progressive for them.
Oh
They played
Lord.
stuff far more chill than the Beatles. They were at night willing to play some 70s disco. So you get like some Bee Gees and stuff. That was the most risque music I could hear unless I bought it myself at the store. So my childhood, outside of what my parents provided, was pretty tame on the music front. So, like, I grew up listening to a lot of like 60s and 70s metal and a little bit of 80s metal because
Hmm.
of my dad. My dad loved like, Ozzy Osbourne and that kind of stuff, right? And then into like some like 80s stuff. So there was some hair metal in there too, but he didn't listen to a lot of that because it wasn't his childhood so much as his adulthood. And by that point, he had moved on to other things.
Hmm.
So, when I moved from Idaho to Seattle, I got exposed to a lot of new music types. That's when I first heard about screamo. By that point, I was actually listening pretty heavily into a lot of more modern like rock and a lot of emo. I was getting into some different kinds of metal, but it was still pretty much in its infancy for me
Hmm.
with modern metal at the time. Like I had heard a little bit of Rammstein and a little bit of things like that, but it was still very like I had just touched it, but I hadn't really dove into it much. And then I heard, was it Anima? It might have been Anima. Um, that album. I heard like one or two tracks from it.
Hmm.
And that's when I was like, yep, this is my music. So I went out and just started buying Tool albums, just like yank, grabbing everything I could off the shelf because I was like, I love this. So I have a history with Tool as a result. So yeah, when I had heard that they had done this and hadn't actually listened to it until the other day, I was like, "What on earth is this gonna be?" And it's weird to hear
Yeah.
a Christmas Tool cover. It's so weird. It's not bad. I think it's more that I'm having a hard time with this
Mhm.
because this is where my real deep dive into like metal and industrial music really kind of comes in
Yeah.
was Tool. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's so hard to hear the thing that was the foundation for a lot of your music tastes be parodied in such a bizarre way. I'm not mad. I am not upset, and I've listened to it with with a chuckle. But for me personally, it's so weird to hear this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to listen to it a few times, and it'll most assuredly grow on me. But right now, my brain is still like, "What is this?"
Yeah, like I enjoyed it. It was very amusing, but at the same time, I'm sort of like, I what?
Here, Marmalade will help me talk about Tool. Right? What are your feelings on um weed? Do you have any feelings on weed? Apparently not. Okay.
with the name of it, it's pretty obvious that it's all food themed, which is a very common thing for Psychostick. But
Yes.
it's one of those. It's like a layering of this is weird, you know.
I'm surprised that there's no recipe in the middle of this.
Yeah.
Because like so funnily enough, they should have done the they should have done a parody of the one where like Tool just like gives you a recipe for, was it cake or was it bread? That they make it sound like it's a
Oh.
Nazi rally, but it's just them giving you
Oh.
the recipe for like bread.
Oh God. I'm trying to think
But they
now.
could have done something like that. I mean, it doesn't obviously have to be that song, but
Mm.
that they still throw in, like, just like throw in just like a recipe in the middle of their song. Because they kind of did that in one of their other ones, right?
Mm.
I swear that they did like a bit of a recipe in one of their other songs I can't remember if it was on this album or not. Or am I just having like weird like other bands melting into each other? Am I creating a homunculus by accident?
Maybe.
I think I am. Don't mind me. I'm apparently having, like my brain is melting into itself. And it's from the cuteness of my little marmalade.
As we've said, it's weird. I do have to talk to the positives about it. That it's very clear that they love Tool.
Yes.
It definitely comes from that school of thought of if you're going to parody something, it's got to be something that you like.
Yes. Or excruciatingly hate. Like there has to be a lot of emotion behind it.
Yeah.
And it fits. Like it genuinely fits. This is the kind of thing that if Weird Al had done this, it wouldn't have been a surprise kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
it's not offensive. Like there's no swearing. There's nothing too bad about it, which, considering in the past they haven't exactly steered that far away from swearing,
Hmm.
kind of surprising. But at the same time, it does work. Which is why, as I said, it's so weird to me that this exists, but at the same time, it's not bad. It's
Yeah.
just something I'm gonna have to get used to because once again, this is that one of those pillars of my music taste getting made fun of. It takes a moment for you to go, I like this. Instead, it's more of like, how could you have done that to the thing I love the most? Well, not the most, but one of the things that like made me who I am music wise.
Mm.
It's just such a weird feeling. But no, like, because yeah, going back and looking through the lyrics, it's nice, and it's not purely just Christmas. It's a nice mixture of everything. It's just the food from all of basically from like Halloween all the way through New Year's. It's just the joy of eating everything. And the fact that you're going to come out of it probably about 200 pounds heavier than you went in, because it's the holidays, and
Yeah.
I'm definitely struggling with that right now with my weight. So, hey, weight, hooray! I'm gonna come out of this a bigger man than I went in, which is probably bad for my cholesterol.
All I wanted to get for Christmas was a Boba Fett. Still original packaging, but Santa has abandoned me.
Yeah, after that, there's Jolly Old Sadist, which can just be summarized as venting rage at the myth of Santa.
And see, I don't even remember this song. I think this is one of those ones I must have just completely just forgot about over the years.
I will admit, it's not one of their more memorable ones. It just kind of, it passes you by, and it's funny, but they've got stronger comedy on the rest of the album.
Ho ho ho!
And then we have the joy of NOEL.
Yeah,
Which, for those of you out there who are too young to really know System of a Down, this was a song that really pissed off the Bush administration.
Yeah.
I should say the second Bush administration. They weren't around back in the 80s. These guys were a little later than that. Yeah, BYOB is a pretty entertaining song to make fun of. This is an old one. They did this years ago. Once again, it's just another remaster. Fun, but just another remaster. But yeah, if you have not heard NOEL, definitely listen to it. It's fun, it's entertaining. Then go back and listen to BYOB, and it'll click more if you haven't heard the original. It'll click more.
although
Like it's not. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I have a bit of a controversial opinion for this.
Okay.
I think it actually does the job of satirizing what it is better than BYOB does.
That's fair. I was gonna say it's not their best music, but it's not bad.
Well,
I wasn't really a big fan of System by the time that they had released BYOB.
mm,
I like a little bit of their earlier stuff. By the
Mm.
point that they got to like BYOB, I was already kind of on the outs with them. You know, it is what it is.
yeah, but it's just, well, I've written in my notes. I find it's better at satirizing and commentating on consumerism
Yeah.
and the stress of the holidays and the expectations of family interactions and all that shit. Than with BYOB was at highlighting the tragedies and hypocrisies of war.
Everybody's dropping money on the people they don't like.
It was good at that, but there's one major problem that BYOB has. A lot of the lyrics are a bit indecipherable on first listen.
Yeah, it doesn't help a whole lot. You know, that's kind of been a problem with System in the first place.
Yeah.
I remember when Aerials first came out, the girl I was dating at the time misunderstood and thought the guy was singing about Aryans, and so she was immediately disinterested. She was like, "Nope, white supremacist music. I'm out." I was like, "I don't think that's what he's singing. Pretty sure that's not what Surge is singing, but okay."
Mm.
It's safe to say the original song for BYOB is a good statement against war, and NOEL is a good statement against consumerism and why Black Friday fucking sucks.
Yeah.
God, do anything else with your life than Black Friday. Go to a Black Friday sale because your life is not worth losing.
I mean,
Like there are references to murder. People have died at a Black Friday
Yeah.
sale. It is not worth going.
Yeah,
I worked, as I said, worked Walmart for 6 years. I had seen 6 different Black Friday sales from that side of the counter. Don't do it. There are better things to do with your life.
I've seen so much footage from Black Friday sales that just make me go, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, see, I don't know if there's anything even remotely that stupid in Britain, but yeah, like they have not been as bad as far as I know these last few years. I think a lot of people are starting to realize that those sales are not really great. that honestly, a lot of times they push products that are actually being put at regular price
Mm.
because they're such shit products for those sales, big air quotes. So they have like the Black Friday sale, but they're pushing a product that is not on sale. It's
Yeah.
just that's their regular price. It's just lower prices than the things that they normally would offer because it's a lower quality product.
Well,
And it's a race to the bottom. And they're just trying to push to get as many people through the door on the promise that these are 30, 50% off sales when in reality, it's not a sale. This is a regular price. You're getting fucked.
well, what someone had pointed out is that in a lot with a lot of these products, the price label will deliberately be replaced with
Yeah.
one that says was X price now.
And it's from a year ago or whatever
Yeah.
when it was at X price, and it was the last time that thing would have even been sold, and it's just overstock. Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Once again, it's very deceptive. Don't fall prey to it. Cyber Monday is not a whole lot better. Just buy when you need stuff. Don't buy it on specific days because you're just going to end up spending way more money than you should on products you really don't need.
Yep.
As I get horribly whitewashed even worse by that. Actually, hang on. Let me go close those. See if somehow I can salvage my side of this because, good lord, I look so bad. Be right back. Which brings us to our next topic. I had to hold this pause until you move to the next song.
Hey, the next song is kind of two songs in one because one directly leads into the other. So you've got HXC versus the emoji for the horns. That's a surface. There we go.
Hang loose, dude.
But yeah, it's shorthand for hardcore versus metal, and it's not these two genres against each other. It's just this is a hardcore beat, this is a metal beat. It's just it's one of them going
silly.
Yeah, one of them going,
"Hey Alex, give me a beat that's metal." Dude, that's a hardcore beat, not a metal beat.
Actually, this is a hardcore beat. Here's your metal beat.
Yeah, well, I guess I stand corrected.
They sound basically the same.
Yeah, the only difference is slight pedal difference.
Okay, but now give me a soft, smooth jazz beat.
Oh god, Psychostick trying to do jazz. That would be
amazing. I would love to hear Rob do jazz. Or like scat, just like
This is why we should just send this review to them and be sort of like, here's some ideas.
God, could you imagine Josh trying to put together like a jazz guitar setup, and just watch as he's just like, no, that's not the way I want it to go, and just watch as he slowly loses his mind and slips into madness. Oh my god.
You're implying Josh isn't already nuts.
Well, I mean, they all are, but especially Alec. No, yeah, they're all crazy. But yeah, I could just watch. I could genuinely see Josh getting more and more irritated with himself because he doesn't like the way his like the way it flows. It's just like, no, I need to change the time signature here, and he's just messing around more and more, trying to figure out the way he wants it to flow and fight against itself, and just I could just imagine he's just like that. Oh yeah, I feel like that's like the last stop for Psychostick. A Psychostick goes jazz, and then like after that they're just gone. They do like one or two albums and then they just disappear. Not because they break up, but it's just because they cannot complete their next album because they've lost it, and they're just like, no, we need to go like this. It just completely go nuts.
Yeah. I mean, they've only released a few albums. Like, the fact that most of this album is just remixes.
Well, because I know they have lives, obviously, and they've got other things going on. I know they've been touring a lot.
Mm.
So all of those things combined together makes it very difficult to sit down and actually write a full album because you've got to have a lot of time, some inspiration, all that kind of thing. And that just doesn't always happen. Sometimes just life gets in the way.
Yeah.
Or their jobs, which their job right now is to perform a lot in front of a lot of people. So it's not like you can just sit there and go, all right, I'm mid performing, but I'm going to write a song at the same time. I don't see that working terribly well unless you're crazy.
I mean, oh, what's his name? Oh, wears like a KFC bucket on his head. He played with Guns N' Roses during Chinese Democracy. I think he's literally just called Buckethead or something like that.
That's funny. Okay.
Like, during Chinese Democracy, he demanded for there to be a chicken coop in the recording studio. And
I demand my children to be there. I demand it.
And he would write the songs whilst in the chicken coop.
That writer had to be amazing. That writer had to be absolutely amazing.
Apparently he releases like 30 albums a year, something ridiculous like that.
So what you're saying is the man is insane.
Yeah. Anyway, so that interlude leads on to Jingle Bell Metal.
Going through the world while you're taking all the halls. You better watch out or we'll kick you in the balls.
I like Jingle Ball Metal better. That's just better. It's just one ball just jingles. Jingle, jingle, jingle. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Just sounding like a demonic cat bell.
Hey, Marmalade, I'm gonna strap a jingle ball to you, all right? I'm gonna put a jingle ball on you, all right? He's like, what, huh, what?
But yeah, Jingle Bell Metal, it's borderline what you get if ICP pens a Christmas song.
Yeah, but a lot less rape.
But just about as much murder.
That's fair. That's a pretty fair thing. So yeah, like the first verse mentions running over grandma by a reindeer, so that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, it is basically just taking various traditional Christmas song lyrics and applying...
Just kind of mashing it all together.
Yeah, mashing it together, applying violent concepts to them, all that kind of thing.
I believe our next topic would be zombie claws.
Yeah.
Spread season's greetings and slide down the chimneys and give all the gifts 'cause I'm Santa Claus.
Which is a Dracula parody. For those who are unfamiliar.
This is the other one is this one also a remix? Or
Yeah.
Is this one... Okay. I don't think I remember this one.
It's a remix, but it came out like last year or the year before.
Ah, okay, that explains why I'm not terribly familiar with it, because I've been kind of lost in other stuff. Been kind of focusing on the rest of the world and kind of lost touch with my inner Psychostick.
Yeah, it's Dracula parody. For those who are unfamiliar, Dracula is the big song of Rob Zombie. You know, it's basically for Rob Zombie what Enter Sandman is for Metallica, or, you know, Dark Side of the Moon is for Pink Floyd. You know, it's
okay. You cannot put Pink Floyd and Rob Zombie in the same sentence. That just feels wrong.
I don't mean in terms...
Simon and Garfunkel and ICP, they're the same thing.
I don't mean in terms of quality or sound. I just mean in terms of it's one of the songs that you expect to hear at their gig.
No, Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 is the thing you expect to hear with Pink Floyd. Come on. All
I-
in all, you're just another brick in the wall.
I mean,
Everybody in the entire world knows that song. Come on.
everyone, as far as I know, everyone knows Dark Side of the Moon. So anyway, yeah, it's a perfectly serviceable parody of Dracula. It's in some ways better than the original by virtue of the lyrics are a bit more elaborate, and that's one of the things I notice is the parodies tend to have more elaborate lyrics, whereas the originals are a bit repetitive.
That's fair. I mean, it also helps when you already have somebody else's work and then can look at what worked and then build upon that.
Hmm.
Not knocking anybody, I want to make it clear. It's similar to if you were given a rough draft of something and then you want to turn it into a finished product,
Hmm.
you can build upon something.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you do when you do a parody and you just you change like a third of the words. Like I'm sure we've all done that when something's on the radio and we just want to make our friends laugh or whatever. We're like, what if he was like, if I could store a fart in a bottle, like that kind of thing. That's lazy versus what Psychostick does. Like,
Yeah.
I want to make that clear. Like there's the lazy like reinventing of a song, and then there's the genuine reinventing of a song from the core up, from the ground up. And that's what they've done here. They've done that with all of the songs that they're doing as parodies. They are rebuilding the song from the ground up. It's not just a lazy parody of something where they change like a third of the words.
Yeah.
But at the same time, already having that blueprint, I think, makes it a little bit easier to build something genuinely brand new. So kudos on them for putting in the effort, because it's very easy to just fall back to like the 1/3 parody system where you're like, if I just change a few words here, it's mine. I don't have to do much effort. They do genuinely, obviously, put a lot of effort into this, which is once again why I get it. You guys don't have a lot of time to put together actual albums all the time, because who's got time for that shit anymore? But joking aside, yeah, no, it's fine. Like it was one of those things where when I had brought up to you and I was still kind of early into it, I was like, "There's a Tool cover," and you're like, "Oh yeah, there's other covers too, like a Rob Zombie cover." I didn't even know what to think about until I came along, and it's interesting. I kind of wish that Santa Claus wasn't a zombie. That'll give me some nightmares for the rest of my life. But along with my zombie Jesus, I guess I've got an entire zombie pantheon.
So the next one, randomly, is a Thanksgiving themed song.
Lots of food.
Yeah, like this whole album is a nice mix of different holidays. It's not purely just Christmas, which is probably why, technically speaking, it doesn't officially have a name specifically for Christmas. It is a roller skate, not an ice skate. So it's just the flesh-eating roller skate rides again, even though there is a Christmas tree with a giant circle and cross through it. So it's no more Christmas, but technically it's the holidays. Happy holidays. Even though we're not supposed to say that, we have to say Merry Christmas. So apparently no other holidays exist. Screw every other holiday. Anyways, but yeah, it's it's a fun song. I could definitely see me playing this one time and then my wife taking away my music privileges if I were to play this during Thanksgiving, because I don't think her sister, her mother, or my family would appreciate it. I have a feeling that everybody would be like, "What the hell are you doing?" It'd be funny though. I might do it once for like a joke, and then have my music privileges taken away forever.
Of course, because there's that slight cultural disconnect. Because of course Thanksgiving isn't a thing over here, and
You're telling me that you British people don't celebrate American Thanksgiving? Why don't you at least celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving? Why are you racist towards Canadians?
They're whiter than us.
As an American, I'm asking you why you are mean to your fellow compatriots. Huh? I'm waiting for the answer. They are part of the British, Commonwealth.
I don't
What
even
the
know.
hell?
I don't even know why they celebrate Thanksgiving.
It's a different version. It's not it's not based on the American trade and extermination of the locals. Instead, it's a similar story, but just that took place up in Canuck land, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I haven't done a lot of deep dives on Canadian Thanksgiving because my exposure to Canada for the most part has been really fun snowbirds that have come down and talk shit on everybody. I've never actually sadly gone north of our border, so I don't really have a whole lot of experience in that regard. But I believe the story is similar, where I would assume, because I know it's earlier. I know it's like in October, I believe. Like I think their Thanksgiving is in October, and I'm pretty sure it's a similar story where it was like a harvest had taken place, but then like the British citizens that I think at that point they were probably French, they were probably having a hard time, so they had to go to, they had to probably go to the local natives. I'm going to assume, seeing as they were French, they were probably a little nicer to their natives versus what the British and eventually Americans technically did to ours. But then again, I also know the war crimes they committed on the natives, so maybe not. Maybe they're just as horrible as we were. Because, anyways, yeah, Give Thanks or Die, fun song. Not one I'm going to be allowed to play at Thanksgiving. Sadly.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm just sort of like I kind of get the jokes because of American TV that I've watched, but at the same time, there's a few things that make me go, okay.
Basically, everyone sits around, they say what they're thankful for with zero context to the past. Everybody eats a bunch of food, and then some people watch football. American football, egg hand, whatever you want to call it. Our president's talking about renaming it, so Lord knows what it'll be called soon. Maybe Trump head, I don't know, something.
Moving on to less horrifying things.
This is the new song. This is their second other new song, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody Christmas.
Let me hear it for Christmas! Let me hear it for Santa!
The only note I have here is there was one particular repeated line that I was just sort of like, is he really saying that? Is he saying buy a sex tape?
Hang on, I'm looking through the lyrics. Hang on. Hold up. I gotta know now.
Because
I'm not seeing that. I'm trying to see what would have been something similar to that you would have heard.
Because I was just listening through it, sort of like, is that buy a sex tape? What is he saying?
Buy Psychostick!
Unless they've left it out of the lyrics on their page, and he was just throwing it in there just to see if he could get you a rise out of you. I don't see anything that even remotely looks like that. Everybody Christmas. Yeah. Well, you heard it here first. Rob wants you to buy his sex tape on psychostick.com/store.
I'm sorry, Psychostick, if that wasn't... I'm sorry, Rob, if that wasn't what you were saying, but that's what I kept hearing.
That's right. This British man here would like to purchase your sex tape today. Send him a direct offer. He's interested, and he's listening. Yep, this is getting demonetized. You're not making a penny. Sorry, Edmund.
I'm not monetized anyway. Fuck it.
Fair enough.
I just make sure.
You heard it here first. He has no money. Neither do I.
Everybody Christmas, I would say, is actually a passable one as a general Christmas song. If he's not saying buy a sex tape.
Once again, Rob, you have his contact information. Reach out if you want to make a quick £2.5. I don't know which one he has. Maybe it's £3. Who knows? English currency doesn't even really exist. It's all just made up anyways.
All currency is made up.
Shh, you'll fuck up everything.
My red nose, the girls of all laughter. Around here, I am just a goddamn chauffeur, fucking Santa.
So Red Snow is the next track.
Yeah.
What I have to say has nothing to do with the song itself, which is basically just Rudolph the Red-Nosed internal monologue as he murders everybody, right?
It's basically they took the concept of the Night Santa, went crazy, and went, hold
A
my
little more
beer.
extreme.
Yeah.
So there's another band from the years of yore, the yesteryears, right? Another joke comedy band that I listened to growing up that I loved to death.
This the Ziggins.
Yes. A song of theirs called Gilligan comes to mind. Where
Okay.
it's a song about Gilligan from Gilligan's Island. Once again, massively dating myself and the band. This was a show back from the 60s about a bunch of people who somehow while on a boat trip just get marooned on an island in the middle of nowhere.
It was
And then they're
basically
forced to use... Yeah, it's like Robinson Crusoe with a bit more up to date and there's less pirates. But for some reason, they can't get off the island, but they can, but they can't. It's dumb.
it was basically Lost in Space.
Yeah, kinda. With weird science involving coconuts. It's a weird show. Gilligan is the comic relief / slapstick character for the show, and the song Gilligan is about his slow descent into madness until eventually he's going to kill everybody. This screams that to me, but with a lot more explicit.
Yeah. Like going.
So it's good. I like it.
Yeah, it was really leading into the whole Rudolph being made fun of. Like, it opens with
Freak, 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 freak.
that opening made me wonder: is this a
Another
parody?
cool thing.
Yeah.
Sadly, not exactly, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that they still, once again, didn't get like the idea from that from like, you know, wasn't that Anima that was actually, yeah, that was on, that was
Yeah.
on Anima. So yeah, like that's just, you know, once again, it could be that they had listened to that 400 billion times while trying to, you know, come up with the right tune for their previous Tool covers. So yeah. Either way, take inspiration where you can. It's a good song. It's fun. Very, very graphic. Be warned, don't listen to this around those who might be a little offended. Still fun.
The thing just it kind of had a bit of a vibe of Tool, but also at times sounded like a bit of a mix between Amen and Prong.
Yeah, I suppose. Oh, excuse me.
Specifically during sort of the really intense bits of the song. Next, as you were about to say.
O Tannenbaum.
O Tannenbaum, O Tannenbaum. Ich treue in deiner Platte. O Tannenbaum, O Tannenbaum. Das Jingle Bells. Ja.
Which is a variety of different German bands, kind of all mushed into one.
Yeah.
I kind of heard a little bit of Megahertz, obviously some Rammstein. Like they really kind of lean into more the like Rammstein feel, but it's a lot of just, if you like your German new wave metal or like industrial metal, here you go. It's a song about a Christmas tree and summoning up Devil Satan or Devil Santa and all that. Music video for this is killer.
Yeah.
If you have not watched a music video from them, this is one worth watching because it is funny. It's good. It's a good, like, and once again, I've heard this a billion times because, you know, when this first came out, it was everywhere. Like, you know, this is still when I was really deeply into listening to them all the time. Yeah, O Tannenbaum's a fun one. It's been around forever. You know, no, I shouldn't say forever. I think it's been around for like maybe the last 8 years, 6 years, something like that. It's been around for a while. Something around that neck of the woods. It's fun, and like it ends with them talking about their penis. So, yeah.
Is that really what the last lyrics are saying?
Beer is good mit Schnitzel, my penis. Well, technically my sausage, but yeah, it's not his dick. It's Rob. What do you expect? Come on. From there, we end up with Happy Fucking New Year, which I'm actually not familiar with.
Happy New Year's Day! You just remind yourself of all the stuff you'll never feel.
I know I listened to this
Now, this is
at the
another
same time.
remaster.
Yeah.
Although remaster slash re-recording, because they did change some of the lyrics slightly. Because in the original it goes, so they adjusted the lyrics to say 2026. It's basically a teardown of the concept of New Year's resolutions and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to not being able to be successful with my New Year's resolution. My New Year's revolutions, power to the people, take down the proletariat, and I will fail because it is a New Year's revolution.
We are the
I will ascend gain
proletariat.
35 pounds. And no, I will take down the proletariat, all of me. I am going down.
Anyway.
We got our outtakes, both ours and theirs. Of which there are many, at least in our case. I kind of miss when they would do a song kind of like, what the hell is that? Like, there's not enough space in the CD or whatever it is, where like Rob just has like the weirdest shit, like the weirdest shower thoughts ever for like 4 minutes.
Until
the CD runs out of space. Yeah. I miss that. I mean, I'm not complaining about outtakes. They're fine. But I kind of miss the just, to this day, it's still one of the greatest dumb songs I've ever heard. And I kind of miss that.
Yeah.
As like the way to end it. I don't know how you would really do that here unless they did like a Christmas equivalent of Rob just like having the weirdest shower thoughts about Christmas and other holidays.
What if the
until
turkey
eventually they run out of CD?
So like, what if the turkey cooked you for Christmas or something like that?
Yeah, like, if you don't stuff the stuffing in the stuffing, then who stuffs the stuffing in the stuffing with stuffing? I don't know, just some weird like weird salad for 3.5 minutes until it obviously run out of space or whatever. Like, I kind of wish that was how we ended this, but once again, outtakes are fun because you get some good laughs out of it. So an entire CD entirely based on making you giggle or at least chuckle or smile or smirk. Not terrible, not great, but it's fine. It's functional.
It's a fun.
And it kind of goes. Oh, go ahead.
It's a fun. Overall, it's a fun Christmas album if you want something that's not traditional and is not your standard non-traditional songs.
Yes.
You're not dealing with your typical Christmas carols, and you're not dealing with Mariah Carey or fucking Christmas in New York or any of that tired, worn-out bullshit.
And while those things do have their place, most assuredly, at the same time, if you are looking for a fun way to embrace the season, you could do a lot worse than this. I wouldn't say that this is going to be like the stocking stuffer of the year, because I don't really think that kind of thing exists anymore.
Not really.
But I do feel that if you've got a member of the family who enjoys a good joke, who enjoys a little bit of heavy music, because this is definitely going to lean more towards the heavy side, as this is a little heavier than most Psychostick music tends to be. Most of the time they like play more in like the softer side of metal while pretending to be hard. This is leaning pretty hard into the harder side of metal while pretending to be funny. While still being funny. Well, no, because it seems like they're leaning harder into the actual music side of it this time around while having good lyrics.
Yeah.
So it's leaning into the instrumental rather than leaning into the lyrics while having the instrumental be serviceable. This is kind of going the opposite side of that direction. So while it's still funny, they're leaning into the music side of it a lot harder. It's so much like growly, angry. Like when they're trying to do their music, they're genuinely trying. It's not like, we are just here to make you giggle and there's also some music behind it. This is kind of the opposite. This is some hard, good instrumentals, a good sound to it, and there's some good laughs. So, if that's what you're after, absolutely. It's worth a listen regardless. If you don't want to throw down the $9, then it is what it is. But it is definitely worth listening to. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you're willing to throw some money their way because these guys do work pretty hard. Honestly, they do work pretty damn hard.
It's all
And of course-
available on Bandcamp. So
Yes. Or your favorite, you can purchase it, I believe, other places as well. But yeah, you can either go to their website, which I believe actually is psychostick.com/store. But let me just double check to make sure before I try to say that. Let me just triple check. Make sure I'm actually sending people to the correct spot. Yep. Oh, sorry. Psychostick.store. So it's even shorter than I thought. Yeah, definitely worth going there. You can pick up all kinds of good stuff, like the shirt I had showed before. I don't know if that particular one's still on sale anymore because it's old. But they've got lots of merch. They've got lots and lots of fun stuff. They got a pretty good sized library of different types of music, ranging from the silly stuff we've mentioned here to all kinds of good stuff over the years. And they've also got a soundtrack for a new video game that they're part of, the Toxic Crusaders, which is another thing to always go look at because they're going to be part of a cool video game coming out sometime in the next year-ish. Fingers crossed. And I think Rob is still technically working on Plug Quest, I think.
yeah.
It's been a while since I've looked into that. But no, if you've never heard of Psychostick before, they are a great, fun band. Their community is amazing. The band themselves are incredibly personable and easy to get along with and get to know personally. If you go to one of their shows, they will gladly talk to you. If you go to one of their live streams, you can interact directly with the band. They are incredibly good for that reason. And from here of us in California, myself and my 2 cats and my wife, who is not pictured here because she's at work. Stuff.
And from me in my rinky-dink room in Britain and things.
Stuffing things inside my things. All right.
God, dude, this is going to be
that's
hell to
enough.
edit.